Hey guys, Trip here, and welcome to another episode of the title game. You guys had some great responses to the prompts I gave you, and I wanted to go over a few of my favorites. A viewer named E had a ton of great ideas for several prompts, but I'll just pick two of my favorites. Karen's Crossing, a poignant drama about a woman diagnosed with stage 4 leukemia. She is offered an experimental treatment by her doctors which puts her into a deep, coma-like state where she explores her troubled childhood and tries to find out where her life went wrong. Now, on one hand I hate this because I know just how sad it would make me, but I can't help but imagine a sort of Pan's Labyrinth style acid trip into the mind of a heavily medicated individual whose body is trying desperately to survive. Honestly, I'd love for a story like this to have an ambiguous ending, where we're not quite sure if Karen was cured or if she passed peacefully in her sleep. Again, I'd be crying like a wimp at the end of this, but I'm a sucker for a surreal trip into someone's psyche. A Terrible Tragedy, a dark comedy about part-timers who accidentally kill their food chain's mascot. Now see, this is a bit more my speed. I can deal with death when it's played for laughs, and I love dark, morbid comedies. I'd love it if it wasn't just a guy in a mascot outfit, but the actual actor who's played the mascot on TV for years. I'm imagining some sort of Weekend at Bernie's scenario, where they're desperately trying to cover up the fact that their star mascot is dead. Maybe their misadventures end with them getting promoted somehow, and they're trying to keep their murder a secret for as long as they can. Who knows how long this could go on for? I'm just imagining these guys continuously failing upward as their web of lies continues to grow until the climax when it inevitably falls apart. According to Cell, Stars and Shadows is a computer RPG that takes place in Catharin, a world that has experienced both war and bloodshed. You are the disowned child of one of the many Earthen kings that fight for control over the Shining Crowns, a fleet of derelict warships that may turn the tide of the war. Your choices will always have consequences, no matter how big or small. They may change the world around you or even change the rules of the game. There is no right or wrong, good or evil in Catharin. There is only the stars in the sky and the shadows they hide within their dying husks. The imagery alone here is enough to make me want to play this game. You guys know I love science fantasy, and the idea of a Game of Thrones-esque fantasy drama taking place beneath an ancient, mysterious space armada is open to so many possibilities. Alan from our Devil May Play podcast had this to say about Cross Up 2 Back to the Streets. Joey, short for Josephine, is tired of her bourgeois life in downtown Chicago. Her days are filled with private college clubs, sailing lessons, and ballet classes. She wants a taste of the real world. After seeing an ad for a summer internship at a struggling dance studio, she decides to put her ballet skills to work, but fails to impress the owner, a handsome young 20-something guy who has an inexplicable amount of money and attitude. Her dreams crushed, she retreats to the safety of her dorm room, only to discover that her new dorm mate is none other than the dance studio owner. This rich white girl has a lot of learning to do, and thanks to her new dorm mate, she learns that on the streets, it's not the clothes you wear that matter, it's the shoes you wear. Because this is a dance movie, you see. What follows is 90 minutes of cringe-inducing dialogue, outdated cliches, predictable monologues, and the most erotic dance routines that a PG-13 rating can buy. Prepare to be swept off your feet this summer when Cross Up 2 Back to the Streets hits theaters. I'm sorry, this is so fucking corny, I threw up in my mouth a little. I love it. Honestly, when my friend suggested Cross Up 2, I immediately imagined one of those corny fan movies from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, a sort of cheeseball action thriller that has no business being made in 2017. I specifically loved this title because I knew you guys would have fun with it like this. Feel free to take these titles in any ridiculous, silly direction you want. So here's a new list of titles for you to play around with, and for this episode, I want you guys to try and expand each title into its own world. A Mechanical Moon, The Home Despot, An American Wizard, The Datascape, Forged Fantasy, and Future Perfect. So that's the title game for this week, folks. Be sure to stay tuned for more Devil's Advocate, Welcome Tos, and Critical Hits videos in the coming weeks. What do you think of this week's titles? Is this an alternate reality? Is it fantasy or sci-fi? What's an average day like for the people who live here? You be the judge. Hey guys, Trip here. If you liked that video, why not watch some more? Hit that like button and make sure to share this video on Reddit and social media. If you want to see more Psycho Trip, check out my Patreon. There you'll find all of my videos, as well as articles I've written for Comicsverse. If you like what you see, think about donating $1 or $2. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can help me come up with something witty to say at the end of every episode. Yeah, couldn't think of one today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and fuck JonTron!